the fraudulent pricing is certainly would lead people to believe that there is no demand in this industry when you see a price behave the way that it has, but quite to the contrary. What is coming out of the U.S. Mint, the high premiums that you get for silver eagles is more indicative, or of junk silver, is more indicative of what the demand in this market's really like right now. The same thing I've been saying all along. They'll never taper. They'll never raise rates. They'll never normalize their balance sheet, not by their own hand. It'll be the market that deals that blow, not them. Look, you can't stop. I've been saying for as long as I can remember, it's inflate or die. Richard Russell was saying that 20 years ago, that the Fed has no choice but to inflate or default, that they will not choose the difficult decisions. They will not choose the pausing or abolishment of entitlements. They will not stop inflating. They will not stop stimulating. They can't. They've reached that point where if they do, interest rates rise and the whole thing implodes. They can't allow it to happen. And for them to say, well, it's the Omicron variant that now is going to change our tapering plans, it's a bunch of nonsense. I've been saying forever. And the bond market understood that. The bond market has understood this now for a little while because just, a couple of weeks ago when he announced that they were going to taper, that you would suspect the bond market to see, to sell off, and instead it rallied, went the other direction. The bond market understands that they can't taper, and if you really think about it, when you see 19 years worth of money going into the stock market in 1 year, they can't taper, they can't normalize, they can't let rates rise. If rates rise, everything blows apart. And, we're very similar to where we were in 1980, where you had inflation roaring, and you had a Fed chairman at that point who came in and raised rates to almost 20% in order to stop it. You can't do that any longer. So that arrow in their quiver, those tools are no longer available to the Fed unless they want the whole thing to blow up. There's your great reset. Short of that, they have no choice but to continue more of the same. And it'll be lip service. Yeah, we're going to taper. Oh, but wait, there's a new variant. Sorry, we can't taper. It's changed our plans. Or, look, you take a look at Powell. Since he's come into office, their balance sheet has doubled and inflation has tripled. And by their own measurement. What does that mean for if he stays on now that he's been reaffirmed? Does that mean that we'll see their balance sheet double again and interest rates go up to 12-fold? Or excuse me, inflation go up 12-fold? The point of it is that he may say one thing, but his actions are betraying his rhetoric. And you can look and see just simply watching the balance sheet double and inflation triple under his watch. So not to mention you have a modern monetary theorist alongside him as the vice chair of the Fed. So any way you look at it, in my opinion, it's more of the same. Expect more inflation. Expect asset prices to continue to defy gravity until they collapse. And it's a game of musical chairs. Yeah, it's been a great run until the music stops and you're left without a chair. And that will happen at some point. What is the cause or the catalyst remains to be seen, but I promise you it will not be the Fed purposely raising interest rates. They will not do it. There will be a new excuse every single time that they say they're going to taper. They will not taper. No, there won't be. And, I listened to that interview and I read the Bank of America Flow Show report before I saw that. And I talked about that on our update yesterday, but then I listened to your interview with Michael today. He's one of my favorite. I think he's a wealth of information, and to the point where I've sent a lot of people to him for investments. I think he's as good as they get. But what he said, again, people need to understand. Let me just recap the one phrase or the sentence. Equities have seen a record $893 billion in inflows this year, surpassing a combined $785 billion of inflows seen over the last 19 years, said Bank of America. So you're talking as much capital going into the equity market in 1 year as the preceding 19. How long before that has to correct? how long can they keep blowing that much air into the balloon, even if there isn't a pinhole? If you just stop blowing air into the balloon, it starts to deflate. And I think it's when he talks about it being a very dangerous, overvalued market, if that doesn't underscore just how dangerous it really is.
Before we continue, help us clicking that YouTube like button and subscribe now to our channel. This shows the algorithm that you valued this information. And it helps us spread that message. Sharing is caring. And now, let's continue.
I have bad news for you. If you're not rich by now, you're screwed. And if you're in debt, you're even double screwed. How so, you might wonder? Well, the sad truth is that you're working your whole life to make someone else rich. The mega corporations, the banks, the politicians, everyone is getting richer. They get your money. And what is even worse, they get your time, they get your life. You are not even in a rat race, you're in a financial prison. But what could a solution for you look like? Honestly, I don't know, but I know what a solution for me would look like. It's very simple. I use whatever money I have and I multiply it with 1,000. This could make my life much easier and probably yours as well. If you have $1,000 available and multiply this with 1,000, I believe that this could solve some financial issue for the one or the other. Of course, if you're ugly, you would have to multiply it with much more than 1,000. My name is Markus Dahn, and this is what I decided to do. I decided to 1000x my money. This is not a joke. I know what you may be thinking. What is this guy talking about? How should this work? This is not possible. Well, I made a detailed video where I laid out my plan. And some clever folks might even want to look at this plan and copy it and do exactly what I do. This is just a little hint on the side. You have two options. You leave, you forget what you have seen. You do whatever you're doing and you hope that somehow you get some other results. Good luck with that. Or you click the link below the video. You enter your email address because I'm not showing this to everybody. You at least watch my video on how I plan to 1000x my money. The choice is yours. Make the right choice. Join me. See what a different future you could have. See at least how I intend, how I plan to do the 1000x. So click on the link below, enter your email address, and I see you on the other side. Your Markus Dahn.